Well, hello and welcome to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching Morning Trade with me, Nandita Khemka. Well, it's International Women's Day today. So to all the lovely ladies watching us, wish you a very happy Women's Day. And in fact, we also have a ladies special morning trade for you today because I'll be joined by two lovely ladies on the show and we'll be talking about the markets, about the cues for trade, about the stocks in news, and we'll also be having your stock-related queries answered by our expert. So if you have any queries, write in to us on our live feed and we'll have them addressed by our expert on the show. But before we do all that, let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. Well, a steep sell-off on Wall Street as hawkish commentary coming in from Jerome Powell wipes out hopes of slower rate hikes. Dow Jones turns negative for the year and the two-year Treasury yield jumps to its highest level since 2007. Asian markets are largely lower after Wall Street tumbles overnight. SGX Nifty is also hinting at a gap-down start for the Indian markets. Adani Group prepays share-backed financing worth over 7,000 crore rupees ahead of its maturity in April 2025, releasing shares in Adani Ports, Adani Enterprises, Adani Transmission and Adani Green. Now with this, it has prepaid over $2,000 million worth of debt. And on the show today, amid a higher probability of El Nino conditions, which are the stocks and sectors that will get impacted? We will be getting you a discussion on that, and we'll also be focusing on stocks like Adani Enterprises, Bajaj Auto and Zee Entertainment. Well, let's go across to Shivangi Sarda of Motilal Oswal Financial Services is joining us this morning. Good morning, Shivangi. Good to have you on the show. Wishing you a very happy Women's Day, first of all. And I also want to ask you, there are very few women who actually pursue a career in stock market analysis. So if there are women who want to pursue this as a career option, what would your advice be to them?
Good morning, Nandita, and wish you and all the lovely women who are viewing our show a very, very happy Women's Day. It is not just today that we celebrate women; it should be, 365 days of the year. And for the women who are wanting to pursue, stock market or, as a matter of fact, any field, my advice would be just go for it. You have it inside you. You will have all the support from all the rest of the people, good support, bad support, but you'll have all the support, and just go for it and speak out for yourself and you'll be good.
Well, just go for it. That's the message from Shivangi. Shivangi, let's shift focus to the markets then. Gap down open for the SGX Nifty. Looks like the two-day rally that we saw on the Lal Street is slated to come to a halt. And what are the key levels that you're watching out for on the Nifty and Bank Nifty?
Yes, so we've seen that there has been a stellar comeback of the bulls, but then again, of course, there is profit booking at higher zones. We've seen that the Nifty, has been taking good amount of support at 17,442, and it saw a good run up from those levels. So that would be a crucial level to watch out for. And for the upside, we have a resistance near 17,850 zones immediately. Now, talking about Bank Nifty, we've seen that some of the heavyweight banking PSU names have kept the index afloat, and even after it crossed its 50 exponential moving average on Monday's session. I'm sorry, we've seen that the closing was above it. So somewhere or the other, there is resilient strength in this index as compared to the broader market. So we'll of course keep the levels in mind. For Bank Nifty, it is 42,000 on the upside and 41,000 as a support zones on the downside.
Right. Shivangi, let's also talk about the stock of the day, Adani Enterprises. This stock has, recouped almost 50 to 60% of its losses since January once the Hindenburg report was made public. And it has also prepaid some of its debt that is maturing in April 2025. Would you expect this counter to edge higher and in fact move towards the pre-Hindenburg levels now?
I'm sorry, Nandita, we don't have coverage on this stock, so I won't be able to speak on it.
No worries, Shivangi. Hold that thought. We'll come back to you. But let's also get in Madhuchanda from Moneycontrol Pro to talk about, the possibility of El Nino and how it will impact the stock markets as well as some sectors and stocks. Good morning, Madhu. Good to have you on the show. Wish you a very happy Women's Day, first of all.
And same to you and everyone in Moneycontrol.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And I also want to ask you, as somebody who's been tracking stock markets for over a decade, tell us what made you choose this profession out of all the others?
Yeah, I was always interested in macroeconomics and financial markets as a student. And now I have spent a fairly long time in equity research and also in fund management on the PMS side. And as they say, there's never a dull day, because it's a very interesting exercise of not only picking up the right stock, which involves a lot of number crunching, but this whole synthesis of what is happening around the world and putting it in the context of the recommendation that you are making. So it's a very dynamic profession. And, as the saying goes, you're never bored. Every day is a new challenge. So I think that keeps me going even today.
Right, we said it right. There's never a dull day in the markets. With that, let's shift focus to the markets per se. There are high chances of El Nino actually striking in July, and this will get clearer. The picture will get clearer in April, according to IMD. So historically, how has El Nino impacted the markets?
Yeah, as our analysis suggests that we have tracked the market's behavior uh, over time in the last 20 years with deviation caused by El Nino. And in severe drought years like 2002, 2009, 2015, except for 2009, which was an exceptional year post the GFC, markets have given double-digit negative return in severe drought years and mostly negative returns in El Nino years.
Right, Madhu, which are the stocks or sectors that will be most impacted? Of course, deficient rainfall impacts agriculture and rural-facing sectors. So, would you say rural-facing sectors and stocks will get the most impacted by El Nino conditions? And which are the stocks in particular?
See, we have to remember that we are just recovering from a pandemic, which has had a very negative impact on the bottom of the pyramid. And should the monsoon disappoint, definitely rural focused consumption along with agricultural companies stands to lose the most. So all agrochemical companies, fertilizer companies are something which we see as challenges along with the FMCG companies with a rural focus, also retail companies with rural focus. And this will have an impact on raw material prices also, food prices also. So to that extent, the QSR, restaurants, then the two-wheelers, tractors. So yeah, it's like a whole lot of companies that stands to see the impact. And overall, the consumption sentiment will remain subdued for a while.
Right, but I believe there are certain stocks that will also stand to gain from El Nino conditions, right? Could you tell us which are those stocks?
Yeah, I mean, there are a handful. In the consumption side, Varun Beverage is one stock where we see because if the summer is bad, the demand for carbonated beverage, soft drinks go up. So that's one pocket of gain that we see. Then the usual suspects, the air conditioned companies, but we are not too keen on the on companies like Volstar, Voltas, and Blue Star because of the intense competition. We would like to play the theme with a stock like Amber. And then there are companies which stands to gain because of the temperature soaring. One being Coal India because the hydropower plants are not working properly during deficient rains. So the demand for thermal power goes up. So NTPC stands to gain. Coal India stands to gain because the e-auction prices go up, and it could benefit something like an Indian energy exchange as well.
Right, so those are the stocks and sectors that will be impacted by El Nino. With that, Madhu, thanks a lot for taking out time and joining us this morning. Here's wishing you a very happy Women's Day.
Same to you.
Thank you. Let's go back to Shivangi then. Shivangi, since we are talking about rural-facing stocks, I would like to draw your attention to Bajaj Auto. There's been a JP Morgan report on the company. In fact, it has an overweight call on the stock with a target price of 4,400 rupees a share. In fact, it's saying that the stock could potentially re-rate in 2023 given its aggressive focus on EVs. Now, given the fact that the stock has done pretty well on a YTD basis, it's up somewhere around 5% or so, would you expect this run to continue in the coming months?
So looking at Bajaj Auto, this has been one stock which has been comparatively very stable in all the other auto pack names. Specifically, if we look at the technical levels right now, we've seen that there has been a good support-based buying near 3630 levels, and the stock has been continuously making higher lows after that on the daily frame. So technically speaking, the chart is kind of positive, but then again we saw that on Monday's session the stock closed near its day's lows level. So somewhere or the other there has been profit booking, and we need follow-up buying over here for the stock to move up. And once we see that 3750 the stock holds these levels, then we could see upward levels of 3980 levels with a crucial support near 3590.
Crucial support near 3590. Let's also shift focus to the media pack then. Zee Entertainment is one stock that has been witnessing a very volatile days. First, there was the insolvency plea against the company. Then it was removed from the FNO list. Then it's back in the FNO list, and now it has settled its royalty dues with artist's body IPRS. Over the last 5-6 days, it has staged a rebound of some sorts. Do you expect this run to continue in today's session, given the fact that there's positive news flow regarding the stock?
So looking at Zee, the stock has been continuously making lower lows from the last 4 months now, and we've seen that there has been, selling pressure in this stock from a very long period of time. The stock has been beaten down from, higher levels, and we can see, in the last 3 months, the stock has gone down from 270 to 180 levels. So the stock, 188 levels. So the stock has been, in the weakness from a long time. So it now needs to gain strength for an upward move. So I would suggest we could wait and watch for the stock and move to better stocks.
Right, wait and watch and look for better stocks. Let's also focus in on a Jindal Stainless. This stock was up somewhere around 7.5% in Monday's session. In fact, there is news flow that the company will be investing somewhere around 120 crores to set up 2 rooftop solar projects. Given the fact that it is in fact trading near the 300 mark, near about its 52-week highs, do you expect it to reach somewhere around 350 in a couple of trading sessions next?
So looking at the steel pack, there has been a lot of momentum, surely, and Jindal Stainless specifically has been a very strong counter. And from the last year itself, we've seen that from January 2022, till this year, we've seen that there has been a very good comeback in this stock. And talking about immediately, the stock is it's just given a breakout from its, upward trending channel. So the stock is expected to move even higher to 320 zones with a stop loss near 288 levels. Now, since this is a metal pack and the metal packs are very high beta, I would recommend to keep a strict stop loss.
We'll keep a strict stop loss if you're trading in Jindal Stainless. Let's also focus in on some of the queries that we are getting this morning. The first one is coming in from Deepshikha, and she has a query on Jubilee Foods. If you look at the stock on a YTD basis, it has shaved off somewhere around 11% or so. But, on a 5-day basis, it has gained somewhat. So would you advise investors to now pick up the stock at these levels?
Jubilant Food has been, underperforming since the last 6 months. We've seen that the stock has been continuously making lower highs, lower lows. Now, I would suggest that, there has to be some kind of a negation and, momentum to be built for us to enter the stock. So we could wait and watch in this stock because the consumption entire sector is not in play right now. So we could focus on the sectoral shift and focus on the sectors which are working.
Right. Let's move on to the pharma pack then. Prabhu has written in and he has a query on DVs Labs. Now, over the last 6 months, this stock has shaved off somewhere around 20%. In fact, it has come down from levels of 4,600 to 2,800 odds. Do you see further upside? Would you advise people to buy this stock on dips and maybe hold on?
DVs Lab, we've seen that the stock has, corrected by almost 40% in the last 2 years. And the stock is, on a broader basis, if we look at the structure, it is quite weak. Even after the breakdown, we can see follow-up selling over here at every, bounce. So I would suggest to stay away from this stock. Because it has not been gaining strength, and once it starts gaining strength and momentum, we can again watch.
Right, sticking to the pharma and diagnostic stocks, next query is coming in from Baswaraj and he has a query on Thyro Care. He holds 300 stocks, shares in fact, at the rate of 700 rupees a piece. He's incurring quite a bit of loss. He wants to know whether he should exit or average it out. It's trading around 450 levels, in fact, very close to its 52-week close now.
Absolutely. So my suggestion, once the stock has already, eroded a lot of your capital, then you should not wait for the stock. Talking about Thyro Care specifically, the stock has been in weakness from the last, many weeks and many months. We've seen that the stock has been continuously moving downwards from July 2021. So for such sort of a stock where it has been in continuous weakness, I would suggest we could move away because it has broken all its immediate support levels as well. And we've seen that 500 was a crucial support, and now it has broken those levels as well. So if we could see a little more downside over here till 420 odd levels, and resistance near 470 levels. So keeping those levels in mind, we could take a call.
420 is a crucial level to watch when it comes to Thyro Care. Next query is coming in from Funny PG and he wants to know your thoughts on whether to buy Gujarat Gas or GAIL at current levels. In fact, GAIL saw a good run in Monday's session, was up 4% or so, very close to its 52-week highs. Would you advise investors to now go for this one, or how does it look vis-a-vis Gujarat Gas now?
So looking at both the chart structures, definitely GAIL is a stronger bet over here. So I would suggest we could go for GAIL over here. It is, surpassing its previous resistance zones, holding well above its 50 exponential moving average. And we've seen that there has been a base formation near 84, 85 levels, which is quite strong because the stock halted over there for some time, and then we've seen an up move over here. So this long build up is going to continue and take the stock immediately to 118 and then 125 levels. And for the immediate support, we could look at 105.
Right, look at 105 as the immediate support for GAIL. The next query is coming in from Biju George and he wants to know your thoughts on CG Power. He wants to know whether it's a good time to enter. Now, this stock has gained somewhere around 30% over the last 6 months, but I think lately it has come under a bit of pressure. In fact, over the last 5 days, you've seen the stock lose somewhere around 4% or so. What would you advise investors to do? Should they buy into this one now?
So looking at CG Power, the stock has been continuously, in strength. But the concern is that on Friday's session, we saw a little bit of, volumes on the short side. And then on Monday, we saw that the follow-up selling can also be seen. So despite the chart structure being strong, there can be some profit booking and some, declines. But again, we could watch out, for this stock if it holds 295 levels, above it. We could again, buy, and we could see 310, 320 levels in the stock, and with a support near 285 levels.
Right, so those are the levels to watch out for when it comes to CG Power. There's another query coming in on Imagica World Entertainment. I don't know if you cover this stock. Rajiv has written in and he wants to know your thoughts on this one. I think over the last 5 days, this stock has gained somewhere around, 20% or so. Yeah, 20%, 23% gains over the last 5 sessions. Would you advise investors to look at this one? How are the charts looking for this?
So usually we don't track this stock, but on a technical side, if we look at the chart structure, it seems to be low on volume. So I would suggest we could move into the better stocks.
Right, look at better stocks. compared to Imagica world. The next query is coming in from Fenil Patel, and she wants to know your thoughts on Tata Motors. When you compare Maruti, Tata Motors, and M&M, which one of these is looking the most attractive at these levels?
So Tata Motors is definitely very attractive, and it has given a very strong bullish handle on Monday's session. And we've seen that the auto pack has started coming in momentum from the last two sessions. And looking at the entire space, Tata Motors is quite a good structure over here, and we could buy here for levels of 470 levels with a stop near 425.
Right, so those are the levels where you can buy Tata Motors. The next query is coming in from Shruti Palwal, and she has a query on Trent. Now, this stock has had a fairly good run. How would you see retail stocks doing now, Shivangi?
So, trend, we've seen that there has been a very good support near 1275 levels, and the stock has started to move up from there. I would, as I see the charts, I would say that the structure is positive, but the momentum is going to be slow. So, if you are entering into the stock, you will have to have patience. We could see a good upside from here, but again, with a stop loss near 1280 for a up move towards 1420 levels.
Right. I also have a query on NMDC Steel. This just made its debut a few weeks ago. Saurabh Gupta has written in, and he wants to know whether it's a good time to accumulate this stock. What would you say, Shivangi?
So since it's a new listed stock, I would suggest that we could see more factors in this stock, like the sector level data. But of course, the stock, the parent company, we've seen that there has been good strength and good buying here. So we could watch out for this stock, but again, this is at its lifetime high levels right now. So we could wait for some dips to again buy for a better risk reward ratio.
Right, there's another stock that I want to get your thoughts on. It's All Cargo Logistics. This stock has bought, in fact, this company has bought out its partner's 39% stake in contract logistics business, and it was at an enterprise value of 373 crore rupees or so. Stock was doing fairly okay in Monday's session. Do you expect this to move higher from here?
So we've seen that the stock has taken a good support near 345 levels, and slowly buying can be seen. But the base which is being shifted, which is to the higher levels, it is quite gradual. So we could see an upside over here, but the momentum is not one directional. So we can watch for 400 odd levels over here with a stop near 360.
Right. Shivangi, what about the entire power sector? I want to get your thoughts on something like a Tata Power. Would you expect this entire power pack, NTPC, Tata Power, these stocks to edge higher from current levels?
So, looking at the entire, energy and power space, there has been a lot of momentum and, good amount of longs being built up over here. Now, the good part is that the follow-up buying can be seen at these levels as well for some of these stocks. Now, specifically, Tata Power is looking quite promising over here for levels of 225 levels with a stop near 203.
Right, Shivangi, I think this wraps up our query segment for today. Tell us, what are you recommending for our viewers this morning?
So my pick would be, first would be IGL. We've seen that there has been a strong price and volume surge in this stock on Monday's session, and it is, getting ready to come out of its consolidation on daily frame. Now, if we look at the, overall chart structure, the stock has been, continuously performing from the last 3 months. Quite strong, resilient despite the market volatility. So I would recommend a buy here with a target of 475 levels and a stop near 430 levels. Now, my second pick would be Cummins India. We've seen that there has been a lot of good momentum over here as well. We've seen that the on weekly frame the stock has started to move up with follow-up buying, and it is quite an outperformer. We've seen that from the last 6 months the stock has been quite resilient. So recommending a buy here with a target of 1740 levels and a stop near 1570.
IGL and Cummins. Well, with that, Shivangi, thanks a lot for taking out time and joining us this morning. Here's wishing you a very happy Women's Day. Well, with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Morning Trade. But before we go, thanks a lot for watching and tuning in, and wishing all the ladies a very, very happy Women's Day. And coming up next is Opening Bell, so don't go anywhere. It's a goodbye from me.